Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the next part of Frostpunk, here where we are in a bit of a tough position, but we've finally just found our way out into the open world, the very cold frozen world that it is. But we're about to go into a very cold period, and we're going to feel the effects of that pretty soon. But hopefully we can, hopefully we'll manage to get things successfully completed while still being in the very cold period. This sawmill provides us with 825 wood, which is not bad at all, and we're going to need it, but we're also going to need coal as well, and out there is very cold, and so I don't know if we're going to be able to manage that for the time being. We might just need to huddle down for kind of the next few days. People can get very ill, so what I'm going to do is ensure that our medical posts are at fully staffed with engineers. I think it's going to be important. Let's speed up until the inevitable very cold time starts, which will be very soon indeed. Oh, we have a word of advice: resource shortage. We're getting short on resources, our needs are great and growing by the hour. We can address this to enact a law that will allow us to extend working hours. That is one I want to sign, and I'm going to sign it.
Listen, everyone.
Although discontent's not going to go well. 14 hours, people barely have time to eat and sleep. Indeed, but, we're not in a very safe area here. So we have to, I think. It's so cold. In order to stay alive, we need to do this. We're about to get into a really cold period. The temperature falls, absolutely. Discontent and hope, of course, is not good. That's interesting, actually, that by having people living near the fighting arena, that gives us a permanent modifier. So we might want to put the pub by these tents in order to help there. How is the temperature looking across the way? Oh, it's chilly. It is chilly. Interesting. We can put the heater on, but that's going to cause some more issues with coal. There's a low risk of falling ill, but it is still happening there. We can't heat everything, however. That's my only concern. Chilly, cold. I'm going to turn on that sawmill's heater, because I think we still need to gather stuff. We can't afford to not do anything for the entire day. And if it comes at the loss of some, if it comes at a loss with some people dead, unfortunately that's just what we're going to have to deal with. That's which is 44.8, and that's collecting 23.8, so we probably don't need everyone on there at the moment. That should produce enough of a surplus. I'm going to put some people onto the wood collection here, because I think we need some. Are they actually going to go out? They're actually going to go out and chop the trees. That's remarkable. Who are you? You are Lorena Baratine. Your biggest concern is a cold home, absolutely. But we're in a very chilly period, and so we're just going to have to deal with it. We do need to build a public house, and that requires some metal, doesn't it? Requires some steel, yes. Is there any steel in a relatively safe location to grab? Probably not. There's steel there. We may not get the public house built in time at this rate. In terms of I'm actually going to turn off the cookhouse for the time being. There's not really a need for it. And I'm going to send children out to get some, not some wood, but some steel. It's going to be bloody freezing for them, but I want the steel. Unless there's steel in a better location anywhere. There's a coal deposit there. That's just the gathering post, that's fine. Yeah, for the moment I don't think we need people in the cookhouse, because we have food rations. In terms of, I can do an emergency shift, or I can do a... I'm intrigued. I'm going to change that. I want to just see how long the discontent is. Not that bad. So I'm going to change some working shifts in different places. In the wood, the coal areas, we're going to change them to longer shifts. It does increase our discontent, but I think it's worth it. And that means I shouldn't need to focus on emergency shifts as much. That's really the hope I have. Is to be able to not focus or not have to rely on emergency shifts, but rely on just people working late, like longer. It's very cold out there. We probably shouldn't get people to gather the metal out there in the cold, especially the children. Actually, there's probably a safer job we can do. Okay, they can't do the sawmill. They can probably do the gathering post, which is probably a lot safer. So we're gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's put everyone back on there. That's fine. 1.7 metal an hour. We should just get enough for what we need. And unfortunately, if the can only be one public house in the city, yeah. If we need, to ensure that we need to ensure that people will have entertainment. Otherwise, we're never going to make enough progress. We are going to build a new road, I think. Build a street. Kind of going out. I think probably going down that middle towards that ore deposit, and then we can build roads, kind of lining off there. I don't think we need to build it that far. Let's just build it. Let's just get the street. Yeah, we'll get the street ready. We don't actually need to go further than that for the time being. Looks like the hunting team are back, I think. No, they're going to build. Okay. We do have quite high discontent, but our hope is still pretty good. Everyone is very cold at the moment, understandably, but it's just that time where we're in a very cold period. I don't think we're ever going to get back above like 30 degrees. And I'm sure we'll actually get colder than when it is now, than kind of the temperature it is now. We'll have to see. Some workday ends, but these guys are still going to be working for the time being, which is really useful. We do need it. As soon as we get 10 steel, we're stopping those children going out there, because they're going to get sick very quickly, I think. You guys are working for the time being. I want a little bit more metal. As soon as you get the metal, that's fine. Oh, with the children, okay. Let's turn off the... I'm going to very briefly stop the coal thumper in order to get the steel in here. That's the wooden crates, that's the wrong one. As soon as the steel is done, then we'll be okay. I just want enough steel to be able to build the pub, because we don't have long now until the pub is kind of... come on lads, you need to be working. No, okay, you're not going to work till tomorrow, that's fine. Let's take the guys off there then. We'll put the children back. We'll do that in the morning. But they can go back to a normal shift, that's okay. We can turn off the overtime work there. But we will put the workers back in here, that's for sure. And we can build the pub in the morning. And then we can start thinking about maybe trying to get some people in from other locations. But we'll have to see. If that's kind of the best opportunity to do so or not. Okay, let's speed up time. We have enough coal for the time being, but we are keeping this second burner on pretty much all the time. We do have some people who are sick, although not heavily sick, which is good. This medical post is too cold, I see. We're going to turn on the heater then. It's too cold for people to work in, or at least for people to become less sick. So that's why I'm going to turn on the heater there. It's going to take It's going to ensure that we keep going with that, although it does mean coal will be less as well, which is not good. As soon as we get the steel, the 10th steel that we need, we will put the children back in the cookhouse because food has just arrived and we are running low on food. So we're going to take the children out of there. Where's the cookhouse gone? There's the cookhouse. We'll put the kids back in and they can make us some food. Excellent. In the meantime, let's build the public house before we run out of time. We're going to build that over here because I think that would be a good modifier for the people in that part of the world. Let's very briefly turn off the engineers in our workshop, and they can go build here before time runs out. And I think that is important that we do so. It might make people a bit drunker, but that's okay. This is being built. It's not. We might just need workers, not engineers. So we'll put people back in the workshop. In terms of people that we can put in there, we've got some workers for now. Okay, we'll just take 5 workers off very temporarily to build in there because we've only got 4 hours to get this built in time, and then we'll put them back in to the sawmill as soon as possible. But we need that sawmill, we need that public house built in time. Otherwise we will fail and our discontent and our hope will become more negative than it was before. But I think we do definitely need some more people. So I think the next plan is for tech and for find some survivors from the beacon. Of course that requires some more food. It will allow us to be a bit more efficient and gather more items. That is important, I think. We're just going to get this public house built in time. It was looking pretty sketchy there for a while. But we will get it done, which is good. And it also will be pretty well heated, although I'm not going to... because it's already basically heating level of 2. But we do need to put some workers in there for that to happen. We need to actually open the public house to see. I'm going to put 1 worker in. A public house has been erected in accordance with the new law. People anxious to let off steam in the new house of respite. Absolutely. What that does, however, I'm not sure, but we're going to put the remaining people back on wood. That puts our hope up, which is good. And we have a permanent modifier of a public house, which allows us to do some other temporary modifiers, which is good. For some reason we still have the emergency shift temporary modifier, but that might just be a permanent thing, I'm not sure. How much do we need for... okay, we need 40 wood, but we don't have the workers really to send out. We might just need to make it work somehow. But I always want to be floating enough coal, that's for sure. In terms of just like our people in general, how are we doing? We've got a lot of people in the medical facilities at the moment. We have a lot of people getting food as well. That's where a lot of our workforce is going, but I think we do need it, however, because our food ration gain is not that far above our food consumption, and that's only going to increase with time. You know, we're always on the edge so much, but we'll just have to gather some workers from somewhere. I could take some people off the hunters' posts, the hunters' huts. How many would that? Oh, that takes off a lot of food. That takes off a lot of food. If I now look at the economy, our our food consumption and food ration. Our food consumption outweighs our food ration. But we can switch over to soup should we need it. But that also allows us to send out a new scout team, and that is important, I think. We're going to go to the Lost Expedition, and we'll send Scouts Unit number 1 to the Lost Expedition. So we'll take a bit of a loss of food for the time being, but it means that we'll be able to kind of keep pushing forward and hopefully get some new people inside. Once we get new people, that should really help us going forward. At least that's the plan. It could all go terribly wrong very, very soon. We'll have to see. Workday ends, and soon the temperature goes back up, which is very nice. In principle, we may not need to have this coal burn on the entire day, but these tents are very cold when not... when it's not turned on, it's going to be an issue. But eventually we might be able to get the range of this thing further out. But that, of course, that does cost more coal. We'll tell you what, we'll give everyone a bit of overdrive in terms of heat, and that should help with our heating issues. And then from there we should be okay. Yeah, everyone's still very cold. So we can do overdrive probably until the morning. That's fine. And that probably means less people will become ill, which is good. Those people out there are very cold, though. The people going out hunting, but there's not much we can do. We need food. We'll go to the crash site next with that scout team, but I imagine there might be some issues with kind of bandits or some other people we meet potentially. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to see. Speed up time as it's night time. Less things happen at night. Just keep an eye on our coal generator, because if we accidentally burn over the stress level, then the generator will explode and the game will end, and that's not very useful for us in any regard. It's weird it doesn't cost more coal to burn the generator. But I'm not going to question it. We actually have no discontent at the moment, so actually we could probably do some more. We could probably get some more people doing overtime work. I don't know where else we might want to do overtime work, because I think the hunters post, they kind of, I mean, their working hours are different anyway, so that doesn't really matter. We do have a few people being treated in palliative care. Okay, we've reached the Lost Expedition. What do we need to do? We need to... The rest of our people made camp here. Too exhausted to go on. We should escort them to the city. We get some survivors. So let's search the area. Lost Expedition. A happy reunion. We enter the camp, appearing out of the snow. A choir of excited voices welcome us. Thank God you found us. We've been wandering for days until we can go any longer. We've begun to starve. Children and adults surround us, packed and ready to go. Scouts will set out towards our city and bring the survivors quickly and safely with them. Or survivors will set out towards the city on their own. It will take longer and some of them may die. No, we'll escort them home. Of course, it does mean that the scouts are kind of in a little bit of a different area, but I think it will be worth it. Yeah, we can't give them any other orders for the time being. I don't know how many survivors it's going to give us, but I'm hoping it's going to be maybe 10. But it may not be that many. We'll just have to see. But it would also help us with our kind of hope and our discontent meters, which is very useful. We're doing final things considered. I'm glad you think so. at least we're alive, not everyone's so lucky. Very true. And actually the expedition travels faster because they're following a kind of a known route, which is good. Hopefully we don't get too many children, because there's only so many jobs that children can do, and they don't gather as much stuff as obviously adults or kind of the educated people do, but you know, we'll have to see. Nice thing is about this coal thumper, it never seems to run out of it seems to run out, so we can always just kind of permanently keep people there. I'm actually going to turn off overdrive now, I think, because everywhere's now warm enough. Yeah, everywhere's warm enough that they shouldn't have too many issues. There are some very low risks of falling ill, but otherwise, apart from that, we should be okay. We have 3 days now before it gets colder again. Let's try and make best use of this time. It really depends how many men or how many survivors are brought in via our expedition. We're doing okay in terms of coal. Wood we're doing okay on. Steel is probably our next port of call. In terms of steel, there is a way that we can extract iron ore from deep deposits and process... Oh, hang on. Oh, excellent. So we have 22 workers, 10 engineers and 4 children. Let's send them back out. Ah, here we go. Here they are. Let's take a screenshot of that. That's going to be a good thumbnail. It's heartwarming to see families reunited after so many hardships, but there shouldn't there be other settlements nearby? The first expeditions left London long ago. They ought to be well established by now. They surely help us find our footing. Let us go to the crash site next. That's probably our next... We had to leave a lot of supplies there. We can probably get some good supplies to help us along. So that's good indeed. Now, let's take a moment, because we've just picked up a whole bunch more people, which means we can kind of start producing things a lot quicker, which is excellent. That also is going to require us a lot more food. So I think we probably will get a third gathering post. No, not gathering post. Hunter's Hut. That's the one. And we'll put it over there. Because I don't, with all these new people coming in, I don't think we're going to have enough. I don't think we're going to have enough food to deal with all those people. Search for others. Our people found a trail leading into the wilderness. We should follow it. We must find other people and ask them to help us secure our survival. So if we need to find another settlement. That's our next major job. I'm going to also possibly put down a new gathering post. Over here, there's some steel wreckage. No, actually, we can just send people out to get steel wreckage. That's not a problem. We'll put some people back in the right areas. So we'll put people back in the workshop. And we've got 9 people to work with as well. So that's now going to generate a lot more coal a day, which is good. And actually, we'll take the children off there for the time being. Actually, no, we won't. That's a lie. I'm going to keep the children in there gathering coal. But we do need to build some more housing as well for these new people. We can build some tents over here where it's going to be warmer. I think we will do that, because if we keep them by the warmth, that'd be good. We don't have the wood at the moment, so that's fine. We'll get that new wood soon, I imagine. Oh, I do want to make sure that we have enough people in the hunters' huts. So let's take some people off. That kind of produces 16.8 and that gathers 23.8. It's running at 30% efficiency. Ah, it's because some people are building, that's fine. We'll take a few people off the wood crates. That's okay for the time being. They're going to build for the time being, but they'll be back. That's not a problem. Because I want enough people in our. I want to get enough food down. That's for sure. Because if I have a look at our economy now, our food balance is going to be our food balance is not going to be good. We probably don't need. Once we have the steel from there, I'm just going to lower down the steel collection considerably. We'll send some children out there as well. For now, we can send some engineers into here. Just get some more wood. The next thing we want to get is another hunter's post, although we could also usefully get a hothouse down. This thing here, but for that we need wood. So that's probably our next port of call, is to get some more wood. We do have a lot of homeless people, but we're going to be working on that. And we're actually putting them near. We're going to be putting them near the fighting arenas. That's going to be good. I don't know where these guys are going to build. Building, going to build. Oh, they're building the hunter's hut. That's fine. That's not a problem. If they're building the hunter's hut, that's useful things for them to be doing. 2 people are hungry. I don't know why, because we do have food rations available for the time being. I'm gonna pretty much take all the workers out of that. I'm gonna just have these 4 children gather steel slowly. And that's okay. They can do that kind of over the next period. I'm going to send these guys out to gather us food. 6 people are hungry. They're not starving though, which is important. And some people are homeless. So the next thing we want to do is just get some more tents. I would like to replace this with some better, essentially with some better insulated buildings, but at the moment we just can't do that. So for now they're just living in tents until we can kind of get them actual buildings. Coal we're doing okay on actually, which is nice. How are these guys doing? They're on their way to the crash site. Oh, that's cool. You can actually kind of see the arrows going over. It's cool that you actually get to see them move. That's Sturdy Shelter's probably our next port of call after that. Gloomy Cave, I don't know what that will have inside, but we'll have to see. But I think we're making good progress here at the moment, and I don't think I could have said that before, that's for sure. Right, let's keep pushing forward, see what else we find. People are hungry, but they're not starving, and that's okay. And we're going to get people housed, and that's also useful. It's annoying they can't quite fit in there. Let's build some more streets like this, and then we can build a tent kind of just off from that. Streets under construction, but it'll get there. There's a bit of a weird space there, which is unfortunate, but at least this steamer can basically heat these houses, and I think that is important. So we will keep this running pretty much all the time round. I'm intrigued, if we turn this off, then it will probably kind of get very cold again. People get very grumpy again, so it's probably not do that. It's probably a bad idea. I'm going to switch these workers. Am I? No, I'm going to leave the workers there, because we always need constant coal gathering. That's for sure. We have a lot of people currently ill in the hunter's hut. That's okay. We're doing okay now. In terms of economy, do we have enough? Okay, we have enough food. We're not gaining that much, but we're doing okay. We could make soup, but people who have to eat this become discontented. Although we did get the moonshine to kind of counteract that, didn't we? In terms of the Book of Laws, in terms of radical treatment or sustain life, I'm not entirely sure what the better thing is. We can't cure the gravely ill, but we can keep them alive. Remember, dangerous amputations of medical treatment. They will not be treated, and they will remain a burden. Or we can go for sustain life. But 30% of the gravely ill become amputees. But I think the problem is that medical posts can't cure the gravely ill, so we're going to sign medical treatment.
A new law has passed.
It's not ideal. Amputees aren't ideal, but it may just have to be what we do. In terms of after that, let's just have a look what's down here. We can go for a care house. Gravely ill kept alive in care houses are no longer burden medical posts. That would be quite useful. And they eat half as much and hope will rise slightly. But I would have to build a care house. That feels useful to me. I could get extra rations to the ill to hopefully speed up recovery. Or I can put people on the ground. Using the extra capacity will just cause discontent, but at least we can do stuff with it. I think probably the next thing we want to work on is a care house then. That feels useful to me. Hopefully they won't cut off my leg if I fall ill. We have to resort to this, unfortunately. We've had enough people die already. I'd rather more people don't die. I'd rather chop off your arm. You can still pick up a piece of coal even if your arm's off. Sounds brutal, but it's the truth. People are hungry, but they are going to eat, so that's fine. There shouldn't be a problem. We still have enough food rations for the time being, but I'm glad we invested in another hunter's hut. I think we will need them quite considerably. Speed forward time till when these guys return. Scouts have reached the crash site. That's why our expedition was split up when our vehicles crashed during a snowstorm. Some of our precious supplies might still be here. Raw food and wood. Absolutely search the area. Fate of the Forgotten. There are plenty of priceless supplies in the wrecks of our expedition. Searching among the crates scattered in the snow behind the wrecks, we found the bodies. They're tangled together in a single frozen mass, as if these people were trying to find a little bit of warmth just before they died. We could do nothing for them, not even bury them. 161 wood and 46 food? Absolutely. There's the observatory there. This peculiar building must be the Arctic Observatory the Royal Society built to investigate the eternal winter. There's smoke over it. We will send them over that way. It's going to take them a long time to arrive. But we don't. I'm only going to have one scout team, I think, at the moment. I don't think there's real need to send more of them out for the time being. But I'm intrigued to see what they'll find, however. Tech. Is there any... once that wood is back... Oh no, we need them to come home. We need them to bring the stuff home. Because they've got wood, they've got food. That is important. We're going to need it. We're not in overdrive at the moment. That's okay. Everything is pretty much heated. Apart from these areas out here. But it's still only chilly. It's not cold. And I don't want to spend extra coal doing so, I think. How's the public house doing? Doing okay, but there's no citizens in there at the moment. But at least we have the permanent modifier. And actually, having lots of people by the fighting arena here is pretty good. Very good indeed. And in terms of, I think in terms of housing, we're okay as well. Oh, that's the wrong one. I think everyone is housed. This one's chilly. I'm guessing it's just that. Yeah, it's just a little bit too far outside. I might even demolish that and rebuild it elsewhere, I think. So that's going to be dismantled, and we'll rebuild it within the confines of the steam hub in an effort to kind of get people that little bit more warm. And also it's probably going to get them closer to the hut as well. So in that regards, it's not bad at all. We'll connect those two streets once we have the wood to do so. It does mean people are going to be temporarily homeless, but we can move them in after. We can move them to the new place afterwards. That's not a problem. And then we can work from there. I mean, tents are not ideal. They're obviously not very secure in their warmth, but we're just going to have to make it work somehow. Another day, another shift? Well, that's life. Absolutely. Once the scout team is back, that'll be useful as well, to have the extra food and the extra wood. People are sick, people are hungry, people are homeless, but that will change pretty soon. We can build a new street and then a new house as well. Build that there, excellent. And we're going to build a new tent along here, and that is within the confines of there, so they'll be warmer there. See? I know I dismantled the house, but it was for the greater good. Very much for the greater good. And pretty soon these guys will be back as well, which means we can start work on some new tech, which is wonderful, because we haven't been able to do some tech for a while. Scouts have arrived, excellent. We're going to send them straight back out. They can go to the observatory. I'm intrigued to find out what that place is about, although it's it's quite a way away. But that's okay, we'll send them out. And then probably after that we want to go to the try and find a new settlement, I think. In terms of tech, let's get drawing boards underway, but we're going to do that for, I think it's for everything, but we'll unlock it just in case. So there we go. We'll start teching up, which will be useful. But I think that will do it for this episode of Frostpunk. Thank you so much for watching. I think we're making some good progress, but we are still pretty low on stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.